Unbearable podcast. Today we're going to be previewing the Bears-Rams Monday Night Football game. I'm Ryan Voss. With me, as always, is my co-host Drew. How you doing?
Pretty good. It's going to be a little disappointing not to watch the Bears play on Sunday, but primetime game should be fun.
Yeah, primetime game with a matchup between two teams that got pretty good records right now and should be in the thick of it for the NFC playoff race. Drew, so I know you at college you do a little bit in the radio. That's obviously your major. Why don't you tell them what you do?
Yeah, so right now what I'm doing is a radio station called Z90.7 WZIS. If you want to look it up on the internet, you just got to Google that and it should pop up, I think. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat with all that same username. And basically just DJing. So like if you were to listen to like the radio and like the people that come on and talk in between songs, that's what I do. Sunday and Monday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free.
Yeah, according to you, you're one of the best college radio stations.
Not one of. We're number one.
That's facts. This is according to Drew. I'll take his word for it though.
We've won awards. So
the reason I bring that up is because this is actually Drew's major. Like he's going to be communications. He wants to actually, have a career in this. And the guest we have on today is a college student at Columbia University in Chicago, probably studying like sports journalism. If I had to guess, something like that. I should know, but I don't. He's the host of White Sox Nation podcast. So if you're a Sox fan, definitely check that out. This guy, I'm afraid to have him on the show because I think he's going to kind of make us look bad. Because
he's one of our good friends too. He's not just some random guy. Yeah.
All right, let's welcome in Jack Thiel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, you said it. You said it, dude.
Oh.
Hey, when I introed you, I said I'm afraid to have you on because you're too big time. You're going to show us up.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm a big fan of the Unbearable podcast.
This is the Unbearable podcast, not Jimmy Kimmel Live, Jack.
Hey, I'm just ready for the pregame for the Bears and Rams, and I just thought I'd come prepared for a podcast like this.
Is that a pen in your hand?
This is a pen in my hand.
It makes you look professional. I'm gonna have to start doing that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I do appreciate the intro though. I don't do that when I have guests on. I don't do that. I mean, I appreciate that. I feel like I should take a page out of your guys' book.
People helping people.
There you go.
You said you came prepared for a podcast like this. I want to let you know that what you are right now is nothing that we are about, but I'll take it. That's just being you.
It kind of makes it better, the fact that he's wearing a suit.
Hey, this is
like in Step Brothers.
This is my sports jacket. I haven't worn this in a year and a half, so I thought, why not get it out?
Yeah.
Wow.
We said that you're the host of White Sox Nation podcast. We gave you a little plug, and it's fitting.
Right.
You got all the Sox pictures behind you also, but you got the Bears and the Bulls, I think.
Yep, Devin Hester right behind me. 2005 Super Bowl kickoff return.
Jack, what do you study at Columbia University? I said sports journalism. I don't know.
Well, you're close. I study sports communication and radio.
Wow.
Big time.
Yeah.
So I'm just some bum, but you might see these two, covering sports one day. So let's get into this game. Jack, I know you said you came prepared, so
I did.
Well, I'll let you just take over. You could just go ahead.
The first thing I want to say is the narrative is probably the worst for the Bears going into this game. No matter what's going to happen, the Bears are going to get trashed by national television. If they win, they're going to come at them for not beating a good Rams team. They're going to say the Rams wins are only against the NFC East. If they lose to the Rams, they're going to say, hey, this Bears team is not for real. They couldn't play on primetime football. So it's an interesting game because, the narrative, that doesn't mean anything. But for the Bears, they just get hate and hate. It's just going to continue no matter what, win or lose. They're still going to get the trash talk they always get, and they don't deserve. But like I said, the Rams, they really haven't beaten anyone. They've came close to a Bills team, and then they lost last Sunday night to the 49ers. And it's a Rams team banged up. Robert Woods didn't practice today. Darrell Henderson hasn't practiced all week. Tyler Higbee hasn't practiced. Jared Goff, his kryptonite is the Chicago Bears. He's 0-2, 0 touchdowns, 6 interceptions with a 33.9 QBR. it's an interesting game just because the Rams defense is also one of the best defenses the Bears will face all year. With Jalen Ramsey, old Bears, Leonard Floyd, you have Aaron Donald. I mean, this game, it's going to be low scoring. And I know people are going to want, what Chiefs and Rams were years back when it was like 50 something to 50 or whatever. This is going to be very low scoring, and it's going to really come down to who wants to win more.
You said Jared Goff is 0-2, but didn't they beat us last year? The Rams?
Yes, he did, but I don't believe Jared Goff played the whole game. Could be
okay.
wrong.
Yeah, I just remember because that was when the season. I remember that the Bears pulled Mitchell Trubisky out of that game last year. Everyone thought that may have been.
I will quote my sources on that. Pro Football Reference.
Oh, okay.
So,
yell at them. Don't yell at us.
But at the end of the day, Jared Goff has not played. The Rams have not played well against the Bears. They did beat them last year, but the offense has been quiet, and now this is an offense without Todd Gurley and Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, you could say that the Bears they provided the blueprint and they broke the Rams in that 2018 game. And that offense, you mentioned that Chiefs game on Monday Night Football was in the 50s. The Rams offense has not looked like that since the Bears played them. I mean, they really provided a blueprint for the rest of the NFL. This is how you slow down the Rams and Sean McVay's offense. So I do like that. I feel like our defense, especially played them 3 years in a row. Now they have a good idea of what to do, and all those pieces are there. And if not, I think our defense has only gotten better.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. But going into this game, you talked about the Rams' injuries, and that is definitely a storyline because that is their main thing still, even with their defensive players. They still are known for Sean McVay and what that offense can do. But the way the Rams play is they're going to try their best to keep the ball away from the Bears. That's how they play. We saw it against Dallas. We saw it in basically every game they won. They don't try to beat a lot of teams over the top because they don't necessarily have that speed threat, that vertical threat, but they're very good at controlling the ball, running the ball, and keeping the ball away from your offense. And if that's the way they want to play, I like our defensive chances of getting them off the field because we're not just some average, ordinary defense. We could take over the game and overpower their offense to the point where that strategy just isn't going to work.
Yeah, and the Bears are also facing some injury problems as well. Akeem Hicks is questionable. He has missed the last 2 practices with an illness. It's non-COVID, but you never know. The good thing is it's Monday night, so he has an extra day to prepare. Khalil Mack did miss practice as well, but that's just soreness. And then Buster Screen has missed 2 days of practice with an ankle injury. So, I mean, the defense, at full strength, it's one of the best in the league. But you have, I say Screen and Hicks, they're most likely to miss the game than Mack. Those are 2 guys, especially Akeem Hicks. You're talking about the run game. They're going to keep the ball. You don't stop the run game without Akeem Hicks.
Yeah, I want to say on that, Akeem Hicks did post a GIF today, where he's blowing the nose GIF. So he definitely has got a cold of some sort. So hopefully, like you said, Monday night does give us an advantage. He'll be back. Mac, I'm not worried about at all because he practiced fine yesterday. So soreness, like you mentioned. With Buster Screen, I think Buster Screen's been good. But also, I mean, we got the young rookie and Kendall Vildor. I would like to see what he's got. Like, I think Buster Screen is great, and I think that we need him. But if we don't have Hicks, I think that's the bigger loss. You saw how the defense was without Hicks last year, and it wasn't that good. Like, we need Hicks on the field. And if we don't have Hicks on the field, I actually don't feel very confident in this game.
I would agree with most of what you said, but the only thing I do have a problem with is, as Buster Screen, yeah, you're right, he hasn't been great, but the slot matchup, which is what he covers this week, is Cooper Kupp, who's one of the best slot cornerbacks in the NFL. And I think having a rookie in his first start against someone like Kupp would probably make him look worse than maybe he actually is. I don't think that's a good game to throw a rookie first-time starter into with one of the top slot guys in the league.
Yeah, that's something really to watch. Jack.
But yeah, going to Akeem Hicks now, we saw our defense last year with Akeem Hicks, and they just didn't look like the same team. He up front is more or less our defensive leader. When he gets that first push, this whole defense plays way better, and especially against the run. But even in pass rush, he's one of our most productive pass rushers. So hopefully he's ready to go, because if he's not, it's going to be a very obvious difference, and that could have a huge effect on this game, especially since obviously Eddie Goldman opted out and he's not playing as well.
Yeah, and Jared Goff is one of the quickest throwers in the NFL. And that's his game, to throw the ball quick. But the thing is, he hasn't had much pressure. I mean, I'm pretty sure the most pressure he had was this Sunday last Sunday against the 49ers, and he didn't play that good. He missed Cooper Kupp a couple of times, Robert Woods a couple of times. So I feel like you're gonna have to blitz a lot more than usual. You're gonna have to make him uncomfortable because Goff is not a scrambler. You got to make him like happy feet, not knowing what to do. He's accurate, but when he's moving around, he's not that accurate.
Another thing too, not just Goff, the running backs, they've had a backfield by committee, but they don't have that like go-to guy anymore. They don't have Todd Gurley. So the Bears' weakness on defense has been, running game. I'm interested to see how they come back where they don't really know who to game plan for. There's 3 different guys there that could take up that role.
I would say Darrell Henderson, just because he has accounted on first down or touchdowns have been 35% of his runs. He's been the feature back, him, Cam Akers, Malcolm Brown, but it seems like Darrell Henderson is the guy to get the majority of the snaps, and he's a good running back. He's not great. The Bears have faced worse. The Bears have faced better, but he's a guy who has shown the Rams he can get in the first down. He can get in the end zone when he gets the ball.
Yeah, Henderson, he's their guy that's been around for a while now, right? Akers and Brown are like more new, correct? So Henderson.
Yeah, Cam Akers is a rookie from Florida State.
Henderson is the same draft class as Montgomery. Once Henderson went off the board, that's when the Bears traded up because they started to have a running back run. Malcolm Brown's been around. I'm not sure if he's been with the Rams though.
I think he's more of a receiving back though for Malcolm Brown, so probably more of a third down guy.
But the point I was trying to make is, so when the Bears have played the Rams, Henderson's been on the team. And I know they had Todd Gurley, but I don't remember him really making any plays against us, at least that I can remember.
I mean,
so although
never made plays against us, really.
That's true. But so although Henderson may be their lead guy, I think they might have said, we've had Henderson against the Bears before and he wasn't able to get it done. Let's see what Brown or Akers can do since they've never played this team before. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams featured those 2 guys a little bit more this game just because of that.
Yeah, it's a college offense, College offenses love to use 2, maybe 3 running backs.
You guys want to switch and talk about the Bears offense and the Rams D?
Yeah, that would be good. So I think we should talk about. Oh, sorry. Were you about to talk? I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to say this could be the Leonard Floyd revenge game.
I hope not.
I do believe he is licking his chops right now. I do believe he's had this game circled, especially since Chuck Pagano was his defensive coordinator last year. He knows Chuck Pagano. If this was Chuck Pagano's first year, he maybe doesn't care as much. But he's been with Chuck Pagano. He knows all those guys on the other side of the field. I mean, he's looking at this. This is probably his biggest game of his career.
You know how Leonard Floyd loves to play Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. That's always when he played his best football. I think that's going to be the same when he plays the Bears tomorrow.
That and Leonard Floyd, as much as he was a disappointment based off where he picked him, it seemed like in primetime games, that's when he always liked to show up. And this is what that is. So if there was a game where you could kind of see him maybe getting off, especially with the way the Bears offensive line has been playing, this could be a game where you think Leonard Floyd could have a big day. I hope not, but it's even like a perfect storm for him almost.
And that's the scary thing because you got Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald on this defense still, especially Aaron Donald, who's had a career. He's insane against the Bears. He's had 4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 8 QB hits in 3 games. I mean, he loves to feast against this offensive line, and it's an injured offensive line. We're going to see Alex Bars get a lot of action, which is my Notre Dame boy, Alex Bars.
Wait, is that confirmed or is that what you?
I believe so. I mean, I would believe so.
Especially after the way Coward played last Sunday, it doesn't deserve to be in there. But
he's been with the system for a couple of years, and Notre Dame has a reputation of producing good offensive linemen. So I think they're going to give him a lot of time to develop and play. I think it's going to be interesting how the offensive line does. I really do feel like there could be a good amount of holding calls for both sides because you have Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald.
Yeah, those are arguably the 2 top pass rushers in the NFL, especially with Von Miller and Chandler Jones both injured. You could definitely make that argument.
Well, you said that Aaron Donald has feasted against the Bears, but if you listen to Hogan John's podcast, you might know this. Aaron Donald never sacked Nick Foles. He's never sacked Nick Foles in his career. And that you said that Jared Goff's a quick passer, a quick trigger with the football. Nick Foles is also, and I think that's going to be, important on Monday. And he's got to keep that up, especially because last week you mentioned Bars would play this week. I'm not so certain because last week Coward played and Coward was terrible. So hopefully they put Bars in, but especially with Aaron Donald against a left guard, an inexperienced left guard that's not James Daniels, Nick Foles is going to have to make quick reads. I'll be on top of his game on Monday night.
And another thing I want to say real quick here is Jalen Ramsey is not a corner like Kyle Fuller. That's no disrespect to Kyle Fuller, but Jalen Ramsey is just one of the most elite, if not the best cornerbacks in the league. And not only is he not like Kyle Fuller in that way, but Kyle Fuller likes to stay on one side of the field. Jalen Ramsey's a man-to-man cornerback. He's going to be moving all over the place. And Allen Robinson, he's been demanding this contract. He wants his big money. This is it. You want that money. You want to get paid like a top guy. You have to show up this game. I know it's going to be tough with Jalen Ramsey, but this is your chance to go out there and prove I'm not just some average, ordinary receiver. I'm a number one guy, and I deserve to be paid like one. And there's no better way to make that statement than going out there and showing up against arguably the best cornerback in the league.
And Jalen Ramsey and Nick Foles were teammates for a couple of weeks down in Jacksonville last year. So both guys kind of know their tendencies. I feel like Jalen Ramsey has talked trash about Nick Foles before. I wouldn't be surprised. But they're familiar with each other, and I feel like that could be interesting to see. Maybe Nick Foles notices something about Jalen Ramsey from practices that maybe some other teams don't notice.
This is one thing about Ramsey. I'm sorry to cut you off real quick, but one thing about Ramsey is that he's very aggressive. He's willing to take risks to try to get interceptions. So I would actually not even want mine. I would really like to see maybe Darnell Mooney, who's probably our best speedster on the outside, to try to hit Ramsey with some double moves, see if he can get him to bite, and then try to take some deep shots downfield that way.
You mentioned that Jalen Ramsey and Nick Foles were teammates. Well, Nick Foles was also teammates. This is going back with Aaron Donald too. So he was the Rams quarterback. That's going back some years, but that is true. And Drew, I just want to bring this up because you brought up Kyle Fuller and compared him to Jalen Ramsey. In the summer, we had a conversation, and I said that Kyle Fuller was top 10 cornerback. And you go, he's maybe 15. He's maybe top 15. The way he's played this season, he is top 5, if not top 3. You just compared Jalen Ramsey and Kyle Fuller.
I agree with that. I agree with you, Voss, on that.
Yeah, Kyle Fuller's he's not a cornerback like Jalen Ramsey, but the way he plays football is unbelievable, especially this year. I can't believe, especially like his career at one point, we thought the Bears weren't going to re-sign him. He didn't even play a whole year. And then
he almost went to Green Bay, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he did, almost.
Yeah.
They gave a qualifying offer, but then the way he played in 2018, I mean, he's been one of the top cornerbacks ever since.
I mean, Tayshaun Gibson pretty much called him an assassin in an interview today. He didn't say assassin in general, but he said the mindset he has. When he has a big hit, and we can notice on TV, he doesn't get excited. You don't see him, flexing, talking trash. He just stands there. I mean, I feel like that's just important. He keeps his mind on the game. And some of his hits are bull crap. I mean, they're clean and they get called targeting, unnecessary roughness. He's had some tough breaks, but he's also had some nice plays. And I could see a Kyle Fuller pick 6 on the way. I really could. Wow. I just feel like he's on the cusp of becoming one of the elite corners. He's right on the edge. And I really feel like a Monday night game, the Bears have always shown up on Monday night. I mean, I remember 2 years ago against the Seattle Seahawks, I was there. Prince and Makamara had a pick 6. And right there, the Bears defense established themselves. I feel like the Bears love to play on Monday Night Football.
And last year against Washington, too. I know it's Washington, but we completely dominated them.
I mean, obviously injuries hurt them, but I remember you tweet. I don't know how I remember this, Drew, but you did tweet the Bears got their swagger back.
I did. That obviously was not the case. But
obviously injuries did prevent them from being a complete team. But the next week, they beat a Minnesota team, a good Minnesota team without Mitch Trubisky. Chase Daniel had to come in.
All right, since we're talking so much about Monday night, and you guys seem to like how the Bears play on Monday night, let's get into predictions.
Oh, boy.
Well, I just want to start by saying the Bears came out +6 So disrespectful.
That's disrespectful.
I mean,
That's just bad.
honestly, that's just free money.
Yeah.
I don't see the Rams beating anyone by a lot, especially a team like the Bears.
All right. Well, if we're going into predictions, I think just the way the Bears have been playing, I have a lot of confidence in them right now. Now, Monday night or Tuesday morning, whenever we put up our post game, depending on how the game goes, I could be having a completely different conversation. But the way we've been playing, I'm not going to come out here and say we're going to lose. So I'm going to say Bears 20, Rams 17. Monday Night Football, Bears going to win.
Wow.
I'll let you go next.
Okay, so the Bears defense has been the best red zone defense in the NFL. They're the second best third down defense in the NFL. They've only given up 9 touchdowns in total, 3 in the last 3 games, against the Colts team with the best offensive line, against the Buccaneers team with Tom Brady, Ronald Jones, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, and then against the Panthers with Mike Davis, Robbie Anderson, and DJ Moore. Coming into this game, the Bears, they're hot, and they know they're hot, and they know they can play better. They know the media hates them. They know the NFL world does not want them to succeed, especially at 5-1. I think they come out. Nick Foles in all the starts against the Rams has scored over 30 points. I think the Bears have one of the best offensive games of the year. I'm going to go 27-13.
Wow.
And I'm going to say this. If the Bears win Monday night, I hardly I'll go like not over 90% believe the Bears win a division if they win Monday
Even
night.
without having played Green Bay yet.
Bearing any major injuries, the Bears, after that Tennessee Titans game, they have 7 games left. 5 of them are against under 500 teams. The only 2 that are over 500 are the Packers. You play the Vikings, who gave up already this year. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who are probably done. The Titans, who don't have a defense, but a good quarterback in Deshaun Watson. They play the Saints next week. I don't know what the Saints are really right now.
No one does.
I just think they're hot. 5-1. They play a lot of teams that play in hot weather at home in December. I just think this win could really spark something.
Yeah, I mean, they would be 6-0 in the conference. You can't really debate that. If you're 6-0 in the conference,
Exactly. And tiebreakers. That's just, I mean, they have a hard schedule coming up. I'm not going to lie. I mean, the Rams, win or lose, this is going to be a great matchup. Lose, it's a good loss. Win, it's a good win. This is a good Rams team. Then you play the Saints, the Titans, the Packers. I mean, it's going to get tough, but you win on Monday night, 6-1, 6-0 against your own conference. I mean, it has to rile you up, and especially knowing how much of the media is doubting you.
All right, you heard it here first. Jack Thiel says the Bears are winning the division. He lives in downtown Chicago.
If they win against the Rams. I'm not saying they won't win the division if they don't beat the Rams, but I do believe they have a 90% chance of winning division if they beat the Rams.
That's the Jack mathematics.
And bearing any serious injury too.
I just feel it. I mean, this Bears team is so low key, but they haven't clicked yet, and that's the scary thing.
Yeah, they got time to get things right. I'm going to say this is a 17-10 Bears win. Like we've mentioned before, the Rams haven't played anyone good. They played the NFC East, and they won all 4 of those games. And then they lost to the 49ers. And at this point of the season, because of the 49ers injuries, I think the Bears are a better team than the 49ers. And the 49ers absolutely handled the Rams. So I think the Bears should, come out and they should win. I mean, it's going to be a close battle because it's going to be a low-scoring battle, and I think the score will make it look like it's close, but it's not going to be close. The Bears are going to be in control of their own fate. It's going to be low-scoring. The defense is going to play lights out because it's prime time, and Nick Foles is going to play good enough to get this Bears in a position to win.
I will say this: Nick Foles has been battle-tested before. I mean, all the teams he's played. Starts, I should say, have been some of the best pass defenses in the NFL. So his stats aren't the greatest, but he's battle tested, and that's what's key. I'm going to say this as well. This is the game where Eddie Jackson gets a pick 6 and does not get it called back. It's going to happen. I feel like it. I also do feel like another Cole Kmet touchdown. Get the ND boy in the end zone.
This guy's got a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Bears. Eddie Jackson, he's right there. Yeah. I mean, Eddie Jackson keeps getting it called back. Prime time Monday night, Bo Jack. I mean, come on.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right, we're running a little short on time, so Jack, I appreciate you and your crystal ball coming on the podcast this week.
And your jacket,
And your
most importantly.
I appreciate you guys having me. I feel like this could go really bad for me if I'm wrong, especially, but I appreciate it. I do want to say this: your last guest, Carl Eliza, did not have the greatest picks for the weekly pick'em. He is already 0-1.
That's true.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say I appreciate you guys having me. We'll see how the Bears do.
Yeah, hopefully you didn't make us look too bad because you're so serious. But
okay, I guess I don't know what I mean, but I once again appreciate it. It's always fun talking Bears football with friends.
Make sure to go check out White Sox Nation podcast. Jack's the host of. He does it every week. He gets some good Sox guests, and they just talk Sox baseball.
And also, use his Manscaped code. Do you want to plug that real quick?
I was about to say that. Also, go to manscaped.com and you use 20% off plus free shipping. And you use the code SHY, CHI. You'll get 20% off plus free shipping. They're coming out with new deals for fall and winter. Also, White Sox Nation podcast is in talks with Lucas Giolito to be interviewed. So that is in the process, but it was also in the process for Le'Veon Bell to come back and play for the Steelers. So we'll find out. But on the
trust
ride,
the process.
But I appreciate being on Unbearable podcast. This was a really fun podcast and one of my favorites.
Oh, thanks, Jack.
Drew, you got anything to say before we head out?
Just make sure you watch the post-game episode whenever that comes out.
Yeah, Monday night or Tuesday morning. Also, guys, we're at 37 subscribers currently. Why don't you bump us up to 40? If you really want to be cool, bump us up to number 42. Jackie Robinson, since we have White Sox Nation podcast host on today. Once again, Manscaped promo code SHY, White Sox Nation podcast. Tweet at Giolito, get him on the podcast. Thanks.
And go Bears.
Yeah,
go Bears.
Down, bitches.
Jackson pick 6.
See you guys.